Cherif, Medawar. Quite a few people ask me, so why should I do single tenant retail, Cherif? Why don't we do any other type of commercial properties? Of course, you can do so many different types of commercial properties. Each type of property comes with its own opportunities and challenges. But my favorite is the single tenant retails. And I'll tell you why, because there are so many reasons, but I just put a few right here. First of all, you're gonna work once and you're gonna receive income for a long, long time. Why? Because when you identify a vacant single tenant building and you line up a national tenant to go into the space to rent, they're gonna actually lease that space for many, many years. They do it for 10, 15, and sometimes they even have options for another 5 and 5 and 5. It's just phenomenal. I work once, I put them in the building, and I'm done. I can be free to go do stuff I like. I travel, I go with my family someplace, I go hunt for new properties, I manage my real estate funds, etc. Long-term leases. As I mentioned to you, these tenants don't want to come in for 1 year or 6 months like residential tenants. These are national tenants, these are franchisees, etc. They want to come in for long-term. They actually invest a lot of money in the buildings. Number 3, triple net. The lease is signed. Not only do they pay you, let's say, I don't know, $8,500 a month or $10,000 a month, but on top of that, they have to pay the property taxes, the property insurance, and they maintain the property. So triple net meaning the lease is net of property tax, insurance, and maintenance. They wire the money for me in my bank account directly. I don't have to do anything. I worked once, I'm receiving income, and best of all, it has a corporate guarantee. That means attached to the lease itself that has all the terms and conditions, there is a form there that says this lease is guaranteed by the corporation, and many of these companies are publicly traded. We have Subway, we had Burberry, we had Tommy Hilfiger, we had jewelry stores, Diamond International. Just incredible because the lease is guaranteed by the company. So God forbid they want to default or whatever, I go after the guarantee, which is backed by banks, and I get paid. Escalation, that means each year, not only do they have to pay whatever 10,000 they committed to per year, but there is an escalation, usually about 3%. So 10,000, 10,300, 10,600 plus, and it keeps compounding on itself. And with these escalations, you're meeting or beating inflation. How beautiful is this? Moreover, it's easy to borrow against these properties, even if your credit is a little wobbly, or if you're new, or you don't have a lot of experience in commercial. When you walk into the bank and you say, I have this property under contract, I have this tenant that's national tenant lined up with a letter of intent, and I'll show you all this. I mean, I train people to do it. And the bank tells you, I'm going to give you the loan, not based on your credit, based on the national tenant's credit, because there is a corporate guarantee. It's guaranteed by these tenants. They actually make you sign a form, of course, that you assign the rent to the bank, meaning the tenant pays the rent directly into the bank account, and they withdraw their payment, and the rest is yours. The beauty is it's very easy to borrow against them. You get better loans, you get better terms, and you get maximum amounts as you build your portfolio with the banks. And then it's easy to sell. When you want to sell them, the actual buyers, I mean, you can go through a broker or you can list them yourself, but actually the buyers, all they have to do is just verify the lease, which takes 1 hour from an experienced attorney to verify the lease, that there is a lease with a corporate guarantee for so many years. They check that they have been making deposits. It's the fastest asset to sell. Easy to assign. If you don't want to buy them, if you find the property that is vacant, the way I train people, find the individual property in your own backyard that's vacant. Find from the national tenant. We have national tenant list with all the data you need, and you identify them, you use the script we give you, and you actually talk to these tenants, and the tenant says, I am interested, I want to come in, and they write a letter of intent for so many years, etc. Now, if you don't want to buy the property, you have that property under contract vacant. You have the letter of intent from the tenant making it valuable, so much more valuable, because now it's going to produce income for many, many years with escalation, triple net, corporate guarantee. Now the property that you put under contract maybe at 600,000 is worth $1 million or $1.2 million. Now you can literally go to the bank and borrow. And if you don't want to, you can assign it to so many investors. I mean, my real estate fund, why do I train people? Because people can assign it to me. And then they get paid a lot of money. You don't need to be licensed. These are assignment fees. These are referral fees. These are marketing fees, because you actually put it under contract. I show you exactly how to do it. So you have legal rights to do this. Easy to assign. there is no downside, because when you put it under contract and you call these national tenants, if no tenant calls you back, you have a period of time during which you can actually do the due diligence. If you can't find the right tenant to come in, you can walk away, you can cancel, get your earnest money deposit back, and you walk away. You have no downside. It's what's called asymmetric relationship in terms of the risk. You have no downside and a huge upside. Not only that, I mean, there is so much more. You can bequeath it to your kids. Once you have the tenants, you get the building, you put the tenant, and you get the loan. Now the debt is going to get paid down over the years. The rental income is going to increase over the years, and you become wealthy, wealthier, wealthiest. They renew the leases. Wonderful. They don't want to renew. They have to give you notice before 6 months before they actually leave. You can line up another tenant the same way. It's just unbelievable. When you can put it in a trust and then will it to your kids. They inherit them at a step up in basis. It's just a phenomenal way to create wealth and freedom at the same time. I mean, so many people they buy these buildings that require so much management. This guy bought a storage facility. Well, he's got to get a manager there. He's got to manage the people. The guy's not showing up. This other guy, he bought a mobile home park. Well, that was a whole different process. He has to have now an attorney. He's paying the attorney so much money because each contract, and people do lease with option, then they default, etc. Or the apartment buildings. All these type of properties are great. I'm not saying anything bad, but they require more time. If the end goal is simplicity and freedom, then start with simplicity and freedom. So what's the downside? Cherif, what's the downside? Not many people know how to do this. So if you don't teach your kids, if you don't teach your loved ones, and God forbid something happens to you, guess what? They're going to be the ones holding a vacant building when the tenant leaves. And it's going to be people like me and people who are trained by me who are going to come in and get it under contract very inexpensively when it's vacant, line up the national tenants, put them in and make hundreds of thousands of dollars on each building, whether by actually assigning it or getting the loan, refinancing, cashing out, or holding it for future streams of income. One deal will change your life. That will be the basis that will actually pay your expenses. The second deal will make you wealthy, then wealthier, then wealthiest. You don't need a lot of properties to actually change your life. You just need the right ones with the right system to make it happen. So thank you for listening. And now you have a bunch of reasons why single tenant commercial real estate is my favorite ever.